For the love of God.
Soul food.
Y'all, first of all, how you doing? How you mama and them? It's your host, Charlie Jones.
And Kimiesha Jones.
And welcome to the For the Love of God podcast, where for the love of God, we just break down things that we find interesting. Recently, my wife and I just watched the movie Soul Food.
Which he hadn't seen before, so y'all
Never seen before.
Take his black card now.
Well, I watched it now.
Well, okay. Well, he's on a probationary period because he should have watched it as a child. So technically, we should take your mom's black card because she didn't allow you to be involved in this.
For the love of God, let your children watch inappropriate black films. I have many thoughts on this film.
Yeah.
Many thoughts, but I want to hear yours first. Overall, what did you think about this film?
First of all, Terri is not the villain.
I agree.
Okay? I think for years I let people, you young, you don't even know what's going on in the freaking movies. You're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But you don't really know adult stuff until you become an adult and you start to hear conversations and listen to them differently. So watching this now as an adult, Terri is not the freaking villain. And y'all tried to tell us up and down that she was the villain because y'all was probably the ones in the family that had a Terri in y'all family paying for everything.
Everybody mad at Terri until Terri paying for you.
Yes.
She the villain until she get your bill.
Listen, Terri paid for everything. Terri was tired.
I tell you what, the first villain I saw in this film was two people.
Okay.
The first scenes at the wedding. Let's just talk about the wedding scene. A little spicy. A little spicy for my young Christians out there. First of all, why they both invited their exes to this wedding is beyond me.
I don't think they invited them. I think that they didn't know how to express boundaries. I think that everybody knew where this wedding was supposed to take place and, like, oh yeah, y'all come get some food, like how it was back in the day. Food. Yeah, I'm just like, first of all, your ex should be banned from, one, coming to the wedding, but two, and I don't care what kind of relationship you got with your ex. Like, if y'all cool, whatever, they're not invited to your wedding. That's weird.
Should be no relationship with your ex.
No.
That's what the X mean.
It's an X.
X marked the spot.
X is a no-no, okay?
That's crazy. But Lem was getting jiggy with it on the dance floor. And for the life of me, I didn't understand why the bridesmaids, her sisters, why nobody went and beat the brakes off a homegirl with the mini dress.
Like,
didn't make no sense. First of all, the shirt.
Girl had no underwear on.
She might not have.
Jesus.
She might not have. That scene was brought to you by men. Brought to you by men.
Oh
yeah, that was wild. But then, homeboy pull up in the all white. First of all,
the wedding is
disrespectful.
Crazy.
Disrespectful. Off the bat, disrespectful. Mad disrespectful. Why did this man pull up to this wedding in all white and with the light skin, extra moisturized lip action, pop $1? I think it was $1. Pretty sure it was $1.
It was probably 50 or something like that.
But pop a little bit of change in the cleavage area.
Like,
that's crazy. And then she let him do it.
Yeah. But that's the problem. She didn't express any boundaries. That's the issue with that. So let's get back to Terri. So let's go, because we've got off topic with the wedding specifically.
Terri paid for the wedding.
Terri paid for the wedding.
That was the point.
Okay, so let's count all of the things that Terri paid for. So Terri paid for the wedding. She had to let everybody know she paid for the wedding.
Wasn't nobody going to replenish her.
Yeah. And then, not just the wedding, y'all. Bird's source of income after the wedding, she paid for the shop.
Yeah.
She also paid for, she also pays the utilities for Big Mama's house.
And the taxes.
And the taxes. She also pays for her own family, so her husband and her house. And they got a big old, it's like a
multi-level condo.
Yeah.
It's like a really nice condo.
Yeah.
Look like.
That's what the word is escaping me right now, but it's nice.
It's not. Is it a flat? It's not flat.
It's like one of them nice. It's a condo, but it's not.
It's something out of my price range.
A skyrise apartment or something like that.
On the east side.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Yeah. So basically, she pays for that. She pays for, and then her husband come out of nowhere. Yeah, I took $5,000 out of the bank account, and you wasn't gonna tell nobody
for studio equipment
for a down
some CDs.
For a down payment on studio time. That's what it was. A down payment on studio time, and then in a few scenes later, we see him go upstairs to his home studio. And I don't know about y'all, this is the 90s, okay? Mm-hmm. So that equipment, it's not like it was not, you could put together a little...
Wasn't no Scarlet joint, wasn't no Focusrite.
You can't put together, back then you couldn't put together a little home studio situation for I want to say $1,000, because including the computer. Now you can. Back then you had to buy tape decks and freaking...
all kind of
drum machines, analog equipment, like all this stuff, and they had all of it.
Yeah. So why did he need this $5,000?
It just did not seem like a good investment. Now I know, because at first I was taken aback. I was like, okay, this is y'all's money. Mm-hmm. It's not your money. It's not his money. It's your money together. So I was like, why is she tripping? Like, this is something he wanted to do, and y'all clearly got it.
They got it. They pay for everything else.
Yeah, and he don't got a problem with her paying for everybody else's stuff. And I feel like as a husband, that's where he let her down. Because you need to step in as a unit and say, no, we are not doing this. We're not going to let family come in between what we have going on.
Yeah. Leave and cleave.
Yeah.
Leave and cleave is very, very important for many reasons, but one of the most obvious ones is what's yours is yours and don't need to be for everybody else's.
No.
It don't need to be your mama's, your sister's, nobody else's. Leave and cleave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Terri paid for a lot. I'm sure she probably paid for a lot of them dinners, too. Mm-hmm. Now I think about it.
Because, first of all of that food, and they eat like that every Sunday.
For 40 years. That's a 40-year-long tradition.
The real villain in this daggone movie is the soul food.
The real villain is cholesterol.
The real villain is the salt. Okay.
Explain why you think the soul food itself was the villain.
The soul food itself was the villain because, well, I can't even say it was like, it's food. So it's not really the villain. Big Mama was the villain.
Big Mama might have been the villain.
She might have been the villain, and nobody wants to say that because we all love our grandmas and nanas and whatever you call your grandma. Mm-hmm. But Grandma did not take care of herself. Grandma, and unfortunately stuff happens, diabetes and strokes and all these different things, but these are all things that we can at least try to get ahead of, even if it's like you say that it runs in your family or whatever the case may be. Heart conditions.
Yeah, it don't run in the family. Y'all don't run in the family. One thing that I'll give them benefit of the doubt for, they did not say what type of diabetes Big Mama had. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's type 1, you're born with that. Ain't really much you can do except for monitor your insulin, your blood sugar, all that other stuff.
They kind of did, though, because they made it seem like she was getting worse.
Well, yeah, she's not taking care of it.
She didn't have any feeling in her arm, and then she had to get her leg cut off. Mm-hmm. So I think that if you've been living with diabetes, you understand how to maintain yourself and take care of yourself.
Yeah. But it was heavily inferred it was type 2.
Yes.
Which, preventable. Absolutely preventable. I had a thought on soul food in itself, why soul food might potentially be the biggest villain here. Okay. And it all goes back to good old-fashioned slavery.
Oh, Lord.
Now, roll with me on this one, y'all. Roll with me. We're going to go a little bit left on this, right? So think about the genesis, the beginning of soul food. These were scrap pieces of food that the masses didn't want. Didn't nobody know how to cook them, season them, nothing like that. You had to make do. So these slaves who already had no resources and was working 20-hour days, getting their back broke, all kind of craziness, right? Chattel slavery. They are forced to make something out of nothing. Right. And turns out they're really good at it.
And she even says that in the movie.
Yeah, so they're really good at it. And now you're eating this high-calorie food, high-cholesterol food, high-fat food, high-sodium food, all this stuff that's high and all the shit that'll kill you, but it tastes great now. The reason why there was no concern about long-term health care for the slaves was because they were slaves.
Right.
It wasn't no thinking about, how I'm going to be when I'm 80, when I'm 60, when I'm 90. No, they were trying to get to the end of the day, really.
Yeah.
So the food was their essential escape. This is all my theory. Food was the escape. This is the thing that made the surviving slavery a little bit more tolerable every day until eventually everything was, abolished. But fast forward to, we got Walmarts now. We got organic produce. You know what I'm saying? You get low-fat yogurt.
We don't have to eat like
You don't got to eat like that no more.
And the crazy thing about it is, don't get me wrong, soul food is awesome. But once a year for Thanksgiving.
Not every week.
Not every week.
For 40 years.
Jesus.
Every week for 40 years is a self-imposed death sentence.
Yes.
And that is why I believe soul food in itself was the villain of soul food. This family is clearly not working no back-breaking, laborious, calorie-burning work. We got lawyers, we got stylists, we got ex-cons, we got factory workers, blue-collar gentlemen, and Big Mama, who'll be cooking and going to church with the Reverend, and Uncle Pete, who'll just be chilling. So nobody got any business eating like this every week.
No,
that's absolutely crazy.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely crazy. Which character stood out to you the most? Which one do you think was your favorite character?
My favorite? I don't have a favorite character. Well, Ahmad.
Ahmad was the designated sweetheart.
Ahmad was a sweetheart, and I liked Ahmad's character because he held everybody together. Even when Big Mama was there, he was the one holding everybody together, it felt like. I connected with him because it seemed like as a kid, he had to carry so much. And I had to as well. When I was younger, I felt like I had to basically, be the peace sometimes in my house. So, I had parents that argued and whatnot. So I had to be the peace. I had to be the referee. And it seemed like he was that kind of character who really tried to bring everybody together and, just remind everybody that we're family. Like, we shouldn't be fighting like this. We shouldn't be going at each other's throats like this. So, but my least favorite character would have to be Cousin Faith.
I was going to say. Top tier villain.
Top tier
black cinema villain.
She wasn't the ultimate villain of this movie, but she up there. She number 2.
Okay, so tell me about Faith. What did you think about Faith?
Faith is the kind of person that needs to, you can love her from afar, but you do not let her in your house.
No.
You don't let her stay. You don't let her be around. You can always have, Thanksgiving. You have your cousins, your family, your aunts, uncles, all of that. And it's fine. But eventually they go home. Yeah. She need to be one of them because you see them get on the bus.
You make sure you got the itinerary printed out.
Don't show up to my house with no bags.
For all you black superstitious people out there, start flipping them brooms upside down. You ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, people will flip their broom upside down, and that's like a passive-aggressive sign to say, get the F out my house. Because it's disruptive.
I'm going to just say, get out. It's my house. You can't tell me what to do.
I start yawning and asking people what their plans are.
I'm like, oh.
What y'all get into?
No, I just start to say, hey, we got to go to bed. We got stuff to do. Yeah. So, goodbye.
Put in the comments, how do you guys get people out of your house?
Yeah.
Out of your dwelling, out of your community.
And I want to encourage y'all too. Don't feel like you have to start lying or saying you got to do stuff or whatever the case may be. You can just tell people to get out. You pay the rent. You pay the mortgage. It's your house.
Hey, Faith, we love you. Get out. Good luck.
Goodbye. See you next year.
saying goodbye.
See you next year. Don't call me if you need anything, because clearly she needed a lot. And she definitely called.
But she called the right one though, because she ended up.
But that's manipulation. No, so this is the thing. No, she originally thought she was staying in Big Mama's house. So
then she gonna go and have a leg amputation and a stroke.
But this is the thing. She thought she was staying in Big Mama's house, but that whole thing was she was ready to take advantage of her again. Because you was going to stay there rent-free. You don't got no job. That's one. And Terri let us know when she asked her later on, did you find a job yet? And she said no. She was like, oh, you going to stay here and then you going to freaking leave me with a car note? She did that to Big Mama. or you gonna have some, I forget what the other thing was, but it was
Bail.
put the house up to get you out of jail.
Now, see, here's the thing, though. Because the issue that I have with Cousin Faith isn't the fact that Cousin Faith is Cousin Faith. Because everybody know you got a Cousin Faith in your family. They gonna do what they gonna do when they gonna do it every time consistently. They're the most consistent person in the family to get into some wildness.
Takers gonna take.
Takers are gonna take. The issue is when you are a family of givers.
Yeah.
And there's that taker. Because Big Mama didn't have to sign for that car.
No.
Big Mama didn't have to put the house up to get her out of jail. Terri didn't have to open her door to let Faith in.
I wish Terri didn't open that door.
She didn't. I bet. Yeah.
Listen,
I bet she
I'm gonna
also
tell
wish
you
that.
right now, and I don't care if family see this or not. You're not staying with me.
That is specifically a Jones family policy.
Yes.
We do not take in adults.
No, you are not staying with me. Do not call me. I'm not going to help you.
Do not call my mother. Don't do it.
I will never give you the opportunity to treat me like a piece of crap again. It says another word, but I'm not going to say that. But yeah, like
family show.
Yeah, don't call me. Cause especially if you telling me what's going on, like I'll help you figure out what's going on, but you got to be open to the advice that I'm going to give you as a person that's in a different position than you.
Not better.
Not better,
Not
but
worse.
different.
Different.
That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not in your situation, but I've been in your situation, or I've seen how your situation plays out, you have to be willing to take that advice. Don't try to stay with me if you're not going to take my advice.
That's one of the prerequisites for you?
Well, you can't stay with me anyway. But that's the thing, though. Like, people always want to go off about, like, oh, my goodness, like, this person did this to me, this person did that, or this happened to me, and this happened to me, but nobody wants to take accountability for their part or figure out what they can do different. Mm-hmm. Everybody just wants to talk about what happened to them and woe is me. And that's the issue that I have with people. You have to be ready and willing to do something different for yourself.
Yeah, it's happened to us a few times.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it a few times. Mm-hmm. My thing is this, when it comes to helping adults, like we saw on Soul Food, eventually you got to let people hit rock bottom. For example, when Lem lost his job because he lied about being a convicted felon, right? Awful situation. Yeah, I feel for our convicted felon people in the community because there's plenty in my family as well. Mm-hmm. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard getting back on your feet. It's hard making something out of your life after the world says you ain't nothing to us no more.
Yeah.
But what can't happen is we saw Lem trying to do what he could. He did the best he could with his ability, with all he knew at the time. He went and sought out another man for some additional help and advice. Now, that was awful advice, but good practice. Go seek the help, right? Then he spent the rest of his time trying to get job interviews, figuring stuff out, until ultimately he gets discovered at his home in the shower by his wife and all her friends. The issue is, now they finally had the conversation. Lem's like, nah, I don't want the help. I'm going to do it myself. I'm a man. You don't emasculate me, essentially. Let me do this on my own. I have to do this. Mm-hmm. And wife says, okay. But did she mean okay?
No.
She did not mean okay, the public. In fact, the public, the wife, what was her name?
Bird,
mm-hmm. Tweety Bird, said, let me go and tweet to an old flame.
The one that
like
was at the wedding.
Mr. White Suit at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy work.
This is the problem with Bird and Lem's relationship. They didn't have any boundaries. They didn't have any boundaries to the outside. And like, one thing you have to do is protect your marriage. I don't care what's going on in your life with money or with your relationship or whatever the case may be. You have to protect your relationship. And I think that, I'm all for you having a close-knit family and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think that Lem going to Kenny for that kind of advice, like I wouldn't say go to somebody for advice. I would say, hey, I need a job. Can you help me out? That's something different than what should I do? Should I tell her? No, you need to speak to your wife as your partner in life about what's going on in your life together. You can't be like, oh, I'm not going to tell her because she's going to be mad. So what? She's going to find out when you start working some new job.
When you with the paper plant? You driving garbage trucks now?
She's going to find out. He's going to find out. Like,
Yeah,
and
it came out eventually.
Don't just tell them because they're going to find out, but maybe y'all can find a solution together. It's not emasculating, or it's not like, oh, like I depend on him, or I can't depend on a woman for nothing. Like, none of that. You are one. The Bible says you leave and cleave and you become one flesh. You are one. Y'all can make decisions together. You can help each other. You are helpmates to one another. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. What I was saying was, Lim, he needed to fail on his own as a man. He already failed by getting fired from his job. That was something that he couldn't prevent because of circumstance. But for the option for him to figure it out on his own being taken from him, and in the way that it was done was crazy. It's not that Bird came and was like, oh, well, I hit my homegirl up and she got you a job. That's one thing. You hit up your ex.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that I have. The way that Bird went about trying to solve the problem for Lim was emasculating and disrespectful, because why did you go to your ex? And then on the job, we saw it play out in real time. He bring it up. Yeah. Talking about, oh, Cola told me this. And like, who Cola? That's a whole story. Y'all watch the movie. But, and then Lim gonna crash out. That could have been the third straw right there. He could have went to prison off that. That's assault.
He really could have. And I think that, Bird was absolutely wrong for that thing totally, regardless of if it was an ex or anybody else. This is a conversation that you should have, like, hey, well, I know this guy, like, I know you're not going to like this, but he could get you a job. Just so he has some kind of heads up in the situation.
And any man with a backbone would have said no.
Anybody with a backbone would have said no.
Absolutely.
But if first of all, they wasn't even hurting that bad. You live in Big Mama house, which Terri is paying for. What utilities, what bills? What bills? She paid for the shop that Bird got and the house that they live in. No,
it's her lifestyle. That's what Len was talking about. She walk around these Chanel shoes, got the gold this, the diamond that. She had real expensive taste and nowhere to live, which is all the way backwards.
Yeah, you can't.
All the way backwards. If I was her, I'd have put up that back room in that salon. That'd have been my apartment.
Listen,
you already paying the rent.
Something. Well, she's not paying the rent because Terri is.
No, she got the startup money from Terri.
Oh, okay.
But the salon's successful.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
But why not just get your place? Your salon's successful. All them employees in there, all them people in there?
Yeah. If you got employees, you should have enough.
Bird greedy.
Yeah.
Bird greedy, y'all. That's the synopsis here. Bird is greedy.
Yeah.
She was a greedy person.
There's so many things that could have been done in that situation, but I really think overall, that specific situation between Lim and Bird could have been mitigated with just a conversation. Not a conversation toward the end when everybody was upset and all of that. No, it should have been a conversation from jump. Hey, babe, lost my job. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I don't want to, mess up our lifestyle, all of that. And first of all, mind you, she married him. So she know what kind of money he got and what kind of lifestyle and all of that kind of stuff he came from. Like, dude, you have to remember that somebody married you for you. So you coming to them and being honest about everything, they want to work at it.
Yeah.
Just like you do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I have an issue with Ahmad.
Oh,
and not in the way you might think.
Okay.
Who was watching Ahmad? This brother was road running the whole movie, walking to and from school. He going to auntie house, the cousin house, the uncle house. He going and getting in cars with the brand new. That's not his uncle. It's his uncle, right?
That's gonna be his uncle.
Brand new Uncle Lim who got the blicky in the doggone glove box. He all over the place, and then all these adults confiding in Ahmad is also strange to me. Who was watching him?
He got that old soul.
Old soul or not?
But that's the thing. Like, he's
they're
a child.
neglecting Ahmad.
First of all, you neglected him And you putting adult problems on this little boy. Like,
Yeah.
he should not know all of the ins and outs of, like, y'all's adult behind relationships.
Like, what's the most common expression in the black family? Stay out of grown folk business.
Stay out of grown folk business.
They put him in the business.
They literally put him in the business.
As a matter of fact, Ahmad used grown folk business to bring the family back together at the end.
He sure did.
So you can just tell this kid was already like conniving and like manipulative and all that stuff, but not like in a bad way. Just that's what he seen. That's what he was taught. And he brought that up kind of towards the end.
Like all y'all do is fight.
Yeah, all you do is fight. All you do is beef and all that stuff. But he learning. He's seeing it from everybody. So now he got the same habits.
Right.
He just used them differently. So yeah, I had an issue with that. I think somebody should have been watching him out. Because I was like, whole time I'm like, is he adopted? Is he a foster child?
No,
what was going on?
I think that everybody was so focused on. This is the thing. You cannot, and this is the fault of Vivica Fox's character, which is Maxine. Mm-hmm. Maxine and Kenny are his parents. Barely. I think I think they were so consumed with family drama that he was not a priority. Mm. And that goes back to Leaving Cleve. That goes back to your family unit and what's going on with you. And nobody even asked that boy how he felt. Big Mama was that was his dog. Like, that's his grandma, but like that was clearly that was her favorite. Mm-hmm. So they had a bond. And while he was going through just her being sick, she hadn't even passed on yet. Nobody went and talked to him and like, hey, are you okay? You know, like what's going on?
Yeah, no one can
console him.
Consoled him.
Yeah. I think that played a part in him just kind of, being involved in the family business too. Because you just trying to keep everybody together just because that was basically her dying wish.
Yeah.
So, and that's unhealthy for you to feel like as a child that you have to keep everybody together.
Yeah. I think lastly for me, the ending. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, clear spoiler alert right here. Mm-hmm. Essentially what happened is Ahmad lied to everybody in the whole family, which, mind you, how did he get to everybody? That's another point. He walking everywhere. He walked all over Chicago to find his family. But he got everybody together on this lie saying that when Big Mama died, she had this stash of money put away and it was real. Everyone was back and forth. The whole movie is it real, is it fake? He was confirming it was real. Big Mama told her it was her dying breath that she did it. He finally get everybody together, but his whole plan was just to get everybody together for family dinner. They just wanted to have that Sunday soul food dinner, bring everybody back together like nothing bad had happened. Like no one had their husband slept with their cousin and people wasn't getting put out of their salon and the house wasn't going up for sale. Like nothing crazy happened. We're just going to ignore all that stuff, right? But
I almost forgot about all of that.
Yeah. Like none of that happened.
Yeah.
So all there's tensions in the room, and eventually there's a blow up because obviously movie's got a movie. Mm-hmm. And then Ahmad come out like, man, all y'all do is fight, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna burn the house down now on accident. Homeboy almost burned the house down, and get this, here come Uncle Pete from upstairs. First of all, black people, we gotta stop putting our family members with disabilities, mental health, physical ailments. Don't just put them in the back room, y'all. No. Don't just put them in the closet. Don't do that. I've seen that my whole life, and we not doing that with little man. No. Our son got autism. It's like, that's not cool, y'all. Don't do that to your people. But yeah, homeboy come out with this freaking old TV, drop it, and in the midst of putting out a fire, it's fire
extinguisher.
Yeah, fire extinguisher, repellent all over the place, water, people fussing. Drop a TV, money come out, y'all. It's the stash. And now everybody forgot about the argument. Because remind you, there was no resolution. Mm-mm. There was no resolution.
No.
Everybody was like, blah, 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 blah. Is that a fire? And then here come the money flying out the sky because homeboy gonna turn a doggone box fan on to kind of air it out. But I'm like, yo, we can't just roll credits on that.
No.
There's no resolution.
There's no resolution. And I know it's a movie, and we had already been watching this for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. But we can't just, and that's just what families do, though.
Yeah,
honestly.
And that's my point.
Yeah, because it's just like, okay, we don't see each other till somebody die. That's the family. We got to stop letting these funeral homes plan our family reunions. I saw that on TikTok, and I was like, man, wow. But anyway, like we have to talk through things. But the problem is, our parents and our grandparents and stuff like that, they're not in the space where they're able to accept that they wronged us if we talk to them about it. That's the issue. I think that, and like our generation is just like, okay, like we know that our parents are going to be our parents, our grandparents are going to be our grandparents. So we're just like, I'm not in the space, I don't want to put myself in position to just basically talk in circles because you're not going to listen to me. So I understand why people are, and that had to be the case there too, because it's just like, all right, it comes a time. I mean, it's just like, all right, let's just wrap this up because nobody's going to, look at their own self and like, you know what? You right. I apologize. Nobody's going to do that because everybody wants to be right.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my issue. I was like, if we gonna go through this whole film, people fighting, bickering, mystery money is found, somebody dying, it'd be nice to see that there's a resolution. Because what that told me as an audience was it's okay to have all this stuff happen and none of it be talked about again. None of it be solved. Nobody have boundaries expressed. Nobody learn a lesson from it. Just get the money and go.
Right.
Get the money and go. And what happens when your family don't got money? What happens when there is no prize at the end of the tunnel, no gold at the end of the rainbow?
Most of the time, there's not. Most of the time, there's not.
It's a cycle.
And that's why you don't see families come together anymore. That's why Thanksgiving dinners get smaller and smaller. That's why people are just like, you see family members having their own little...
every family got their own little tradition now, and that's kind of where it's at. And
it's not for lack of trying. I think it's like people want to have like big family situations. It's just you don't want drama.
Yeah, you tired of it. We too old to be fighting.
Oh my God!
At this big age?
Yes.
Nah, I'm not fighting you at your big age.
And
I'm just not gonna see you.
Like going back to Terri paying for everything. Like I would totally understand if she didn't talk to them niggas no more. Like, I totally would understand because it's just like, you paying for everything, you tired, and I get it. You don't necessarily have to be a jerk about it because you're the one deciding to pay for everything.
Like, if it's between you being a jerk and paying for it and you being a decent person and just saying no, just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But I'd rather you just be a pleasant person to be around than to constantly remind me how I owe you something.
Because I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, girl,
congratulations.
shut up.
We got your resume printed.
Like,
it's on the wall.
We got all your college accolades on the wall.
Yeah.
You gave every family member a copy of your diploma. We know.
Right. People sending holiday cards. You sending resumes. That's
right.
crazy.
But no, seriously, like I think that she didn't have to be a jerk about it. I think she needed to learn boundaries as well. I think this whole movie is about boundaries.
Yeah.
Because she could have just been like, you know what? No. It's one thing if you want to help your mom out who can't work anymore, and this is your choice. But your able-bodied brothers and sisters, absolutely not.
Yeah. So here, check this out. All right, flash round.
Okay.
Yes, no questions.
Okay.
Number one. Was Soul Food a good movie?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Mm-hmm. Was it a positive movie for the black community?
No.
No, okay. Didn't even finish the question. Absolutely not. I don't think Soul Food was not good for the community. I don't think anybody was better after watching Soul Food.
It made everybody feel good because they saw somebody in their family or they saw themselves.
Yeah, like it was validating, but for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So I definitely don't think Soul Food is good for the culture.
If it didn't make you want to go to therapy or go and
change your ways, repent.
change your diet, for the love of God.
At the minimum, your diet.
Yes.
At the minimum.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, would you recommend it?
I would definitely recommend it, but I would say, because I'm sure a lot of people have seen it in their younger ages, I would say watch it with a new lens as an adult.
Yeah, watch it again.
You might even catch some things that we didn't even talk about, but all of these movies like Waiting to Exhale, Love and Basketball.
Yeah, we're breaking down those next too.
Yes.
Especially Waiting to Exhale.
Oh my goodness.
I have notes. I have notes on Waiting to Exhale, y'all. That movie irked my soul. Absolutely did. You got anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, well, y'all, this has been For the Love of God, Soul Food with your host, Charlie Jones.
And Kimiesha Jones. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all next time.
Don't eat soul food every week.
Don't do it.
It'll kill you.